excuses now. I'm talking here and now. I'm talking here and now. Let's go. Your time is running out. I'm talking here and now. I'm talking here and now. It's not about what you've done, it's about what you do. It's all about where you going, no matter where you've been. Let's go.
Good evening and welcome here to Turner Stadium here on the campus of Taylor University for this evening's men's soccer Crossroads League matchup between the Taylor University Trojans and the Marian Knights. Rick Johnston here with you this evening as Taylor looks to get back into the playoff hunt. They come in tonight in dead last in the Crossroads League. They have just 1 point through their opening 4 matches in Crossroads League play, coming off of a big tie at Receiving Votes Grace this past weekend. Marian comes in. They're in a tie for 4th with Bethel in the Crossroads League standings at 6-4-1 overall, 2-2 in league play. The Trojans come in. They are 3-1 overall, 3-7-1 overall, I should say, and 1-5 here at home. Luke Williams gets the start in goal tonight as Taylor comes in 0-3-1 in league play. Paul McBride on the near side of the field. He'll dribble it forward. Gets to the end line, looking to cross. He'll dump it back to the trailing Andrew Johnson. Pressure comes from behind. That one kicked out of bounds by Ahmed Sidibe, the junior from Indianapolis. They throw it into McBride. It's headed out of bounds by Marian. And here comes our first corner of the night as Taylor attacks the goal to our right tonight. Trojans in the white jerseys, shorts, and white socks. Marian in the navy blue shorts, navy blue socks, and the lined navy blue and yellow uniforms. Left foot from James McBride into the box, goes over Gallup's head, still loose inside the 18 before it's cleared away by a member of the Marian back line. The numbers on the front of the Marian uniforms, tough to make out. Small blue, not trimmed a lot. The numbers on the back, much easier to read. We'll also try to read those as well as they have the numbers in white on the shorts. So I apologize now for any misidentification of any Marian players trying to read from the side of the shorts or the front of the uniform. Taylor again attacking the goal to our right. Ball headed around a couple times and knocked out near side by Sidibe of Marian. Johnson will throw it in for TU. A slick track here tonight after some rain has moved in here throughout the afternoon ever since lunchtime. It rained at the beginning of our play here tonight as teams came out for their warm-ups, and also started to rain a little bit before the opening whistle sounded as well. Looks to be dry as we look down on top of the puddles that have formed on top of the dugouts or the bench covers down below us. McBride plays it between the legs of Ian Gammon. And then Gammon will right foot this one to the far side of the field. It's Luke Williams in goal tonight for Taylor, the 6'2 junior out of Indianapolis. And for Marian, it's Sydney Miranda, the senior out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Miranda has been in the goal for every match this year for the Marian Knights. As we mentioned, Marian comes in 6-4-1 overall, 2-2 in the Crossroads League. They have been dominant at home, going 5-1-1, but they are just 1-3 on the road. They're coming off of a win against Goshen last Saturday by a 1-0 final. Little misplay here by Marian. Wayland couldn't drive it up from the middle of the field, so Lynn will send one curling to the far side, and James McBride. McBride lets it go over his head, trying to keep it in bounds far sideline. He cannot. Then that one kicked out of bounds by one of the Marian defenders on the back line. Nathan Bliley over there marking somebody, it looks like. Tommy Bullock was the one that knocked it out for the Knights. This ball rolls between Whelan's feet. He'll drive it all the way to the near side of the field. And Andrew Johnson will try to corral it. He'll play it upside to Lynn on a dead run. Bumped. And this one will roll out of play before anyone from blue could touch it out of bounds. Good job there by Christopher Jensen, the freshman defender out of Denmark, to just get a slight bump there on Peter Lynn. And that's what kept Lynn from having a nice little run up the near side of the field. Gammon dribbling from the back half to midfield and Sidibe. He'll right foot drive one all the way to the far side of the field. And to the end line, Marian unable to hold that one in. Intended target on the far side of the field was Lucas Brown for the Knights. He, Sidibe, and Jeffrey Rhodes, the three forwards up top tonight for the visiting Knights. The soccer teams of Taylor both taking on Marian tonight. The women's team, which fell out of the top 25 poll this week, are down taking on the Knights, I should say, down in Indianapolis. The only other Taylor team in action tonight is the volleyball team, and they are up north in Michigan taking on Spring Arbor. Alberghetti tried to force it forward. Sidibe got in front of him. And then Lynn will find the ball at his feet right near midfield. We had a beautiful double rainbow that went from one end of the field to the other right before our match started this evening. And Taylor hoping that rainbow can bring them some luck here this evening. Paul McBride will dump it forward. Sliding one through his Raider. McBride loses his footing. Taylor trying to look for a foul against Sidibe. That won't come. But good pressure from behind by Lynn to steal the ball away. Then Salaka will play it into the box where Luke Williams will control it. Taylor working it up the far side of the field. That's Josiah Whelan chasing after it. 5'8 junior from Brimfield, Illinois, and Peoria Christian High School. Taylor with a couple of PCHS players on this roster. Whelan, Gallup, and also Mason Brook, a transfer this year. Paul McBride hustling after, then takes an elbow to the mouth. Unintended there from Sidibe. And McBride holding that jersey to his chin. And now he goes back into the play. Almami Diaby try to set things up from the defensive half here for Marian. They go from right to left in blue with those yellow stripes on the jerseys. Impossible to read the Marian and then the number on the front, but thankfully they do have the number on the right side of the shorts in white and the number on the back very large between the shoulder blades. Raider holds in the offensive half for TU. Then Ian Gammon comes in, scoops it up, and then he'll send a bomb for right side of the field. All the way into the box, and sliding on it snagging it is Luke Williams, as Lucas Brown was barreling down on the Taylor keeper. Already out of Williams' hands. Raider comes back, tripped up, and Taylor's fans across from us scream for a foul, and they get one. First one of the night against either team. As we're just past 7 minutes gone here in half number one. No shots from either side, but Taylor has definitely controlled things in their attacking half. Rhodes will take the ball away from Alberghetti, then Raider comes back, and he takes the ball away from Lucas Brown. Taylor again trying to maintain their possession here, turned over in the offensive half. It's Igor Ferreira with the takeaway. Back to Gammon. He'll line up a long-range shot. It was deflected and stopped by Luke Williams. First shot of the night from either side goes to Marian. And it was Gammon who took the shot, first one of the night for either Marian or Taylor. Williams takes his time, but then he will rocket a right foot punt out of bounds to the far sideline. Looks like some new bulbs have been put in the Turner Stadium lights here tonight. Gammon to the top of the box, a pass, and only white uniforms in there to make life difficult for Rhodes as he lost possession. Taylor sent it back up near midfield. Marian able to hold it in with Jensen on the near sideline. He'll deflect it off of Taylor's Josiah Wieland, and Jensen will throw it in from the near sideline. Into the 6'1" Sidibe. He and Johnson both fall to the turf, and Taylor will take the loose ball and set things up from the defensive half. Trojans going from left to right and white, looking for their first league win of the year. And just their fourth win overall as they come into the action tonight, in last place in the Crossroads League. 3 points out of the 8th and final Crossroads League tournament spot. A three-way tie, though, for 6th between Indiana Wesleyan, Goshen, and St. Francis. Teams that Taylor still will see throughout the year, but a win tonight would put them right, potentially, at an opportunity to go from out of the playoff picture into a tie for maybe the 7th spot or the 8th spot. Spring Arbor leading the way with a perfect 4-0 league record. Huntington Grace, Bethel, and Marian all in that mix to host a first-round tournament game. Indiana Wesleyan, Goshen, St. Francis, the last 3 teams in right now in that three-way tie for 6th. Marian will play it all the way back to Miranda, just outside the box, and then Miranda will just dump it forward to the jogging Ian Gammon. Gammon, a transfer to Marian from the University of Evansville. The former Purple Ace will send one up the near side to Jensen. Now to Lucas Brown, then back to Jensen, marked by Andrew Johnson. This one slips through everybody. Williams will come off his line and snag it as Brown was barreling in from the weak side. Almost 10 minutes in here to half number 1. Just one shot for Marian, no shots so far for TU. As Williams will sky this punt over the floodlights above our heads, I should say. Bounces off the field turf, and Lynn will skip and dump it down to Alberghetti. Right side of the field, Whelan tried to dump it forward to Rayer. The pass was blocked. Here comes Marian the other way. The man who blocked it was Jensen. He hustles after it on the near sideline, and then he'll be forced out of bounds by Andrew Johnson. Our head official, Stan Smith, will say the ball was knocked out by Taylor's Andrew Johnson, and so the Knights will throw it in from the near side of the field as they attack the goal to our left. Bliley up to Ferreira. Try to get away from Rader, who had other ideas. Rader stops and starts. He runs through 2 tackle tries. A little heel kick to the middle where Paul McBride will come back to get it. Now he plays it behind his heels. Now he'll dance with it and move to the middle. A long pass to Peter Lynn, carrying up the left side alley. Lynn looking back in, a left-footed pass. Tried to find Whelan, deflected out to the near side, and it'll be punched forward by Marian, and then Alberghetti will hold it in for TU. Lynn plays it back across midfield. Here's Gallup. A long-range pass to the far side of the field, and James McBride. It goes out off of the defender Bullock, and McBride will throw it into Wheeland. Lynn, crossfield pass near side where Paul McBride will track it down. Ferreira, the forward, marking him, who's back in a defensive position. McBride, a couple stop and start moves. His cross blocked. He gets it right back to his feet, and he'll find the trailing Andrew Johnson. All the way to the top. Whelan has a go over his head. They tried to find James McBride. It's headed out of there by the other Bullock. This is Sammy Bullock, the younger of the Bullock brothers. Big brother Tommy, the junior, he wears 30. Younger brother Sammy wears 29. Sammy, the center back. Tommy, one of those outside backs with some tape on his left wrist. That's how you can identify him, at least here so far in our first half. Sidibe hustles all the way up from his defensive spot. He'll pass one forward. He'll cut to the middle. Ferreira unable to get the ball to him. And to the near side in Bliley. He runs to the corner. Cross deflected once, twice, and then Gallup will send it out of there. And Lynn will drive it up towards the middle of the field. Chested down and holding it in is Gammon. He'll sweep one to the far side, and Tommy Bullock. He'll cross one over the right foot, and Williams will track it, and he'll snag it all the way on the near side post. A good track there by the junior keeper, Luke Williams. Then Williams will drive one to the sky one more time. Raider to Lynn. Tripped, and there's a foul against Jensen of Marian. Good little move there from Lynn. No ill harm there from Jensen. Just got his feet tangled up as he went for the ball, and he took Lynn's legs out from underneath. Jeremiah Raider, one of the 3 tri-captains for TU, the Avon, Indiana native, will take this free kick 6 yards inside midfield as Taylor goes from left to right. You can hear the Marian defense barking out who has who. They try to find Gallup on the weak side. He went leaping forward, but sliding in and flying in is the keeper Miranda for Marian. And now Gallup will have to get on his horse as Marian out and running on the right side of the field. But an errant pass to the middle as Raider came back to fill Gallup's spot defensively. He takes the easy misplayed pass, and now Taylor will try to get going here as Jensen runs right through Paul McBride. Jensen between the legs of Johnson, but he got too fancy, and Raider tracked the long ball down as he was right there to provide help to his fellow tri-captain in Johnson. Whelan to McBride, a little pop into the air. Whelan's got to come back to get a little tap down, and Lynn will find the ball at his feet for TU. Lynn, the junior from Germantown, Tennessee. Has not started a lot of contests this year. Has been a mainstay off the bench, but 3 and white gets the start here tonight as Taylor looks for anything to try to get their first win in Crossroads League play and vault themselves right back in to the conversation of the Crossroads League tournament. Zalako right-footing it forward. Whelan skies over everyone and gets the ball down to James McBride. It takes a hard carom off of his foot, and then Tommy Bullock will send that one forward for the Marian Knights. Nicholas Barrera ready to come in for Marian. He will be our first sub of the night. The pass from Sidibe is deflected. Taylor will find the ball at her feet, or their feet, I should say. But then Sidibe comes back. He takes the ball away from the shorter McBride. And Gammon will set things up once again for Marian. Ferreira to Tommy Bullock on the right side of the field. He'll dance with it and dump it forward, trying to connect with Lucas Brown. It's stolen, and here comes Taylor the other way. James McBride, to Whelan. Maloney from that defensive spot. He'll slip a pass on through the wheel and takes a hard carom off of his toe, but he'll able to sweep the ball forward. Here comes James McBride, and they whistle James for an offside. First one of the night from either team. And the speedy James McBride looked to have an opportunity to send that one forward. Instead, Marian will start to play things from the defensive half. Luke Holwerda, Cole Gilliam starting to get loose down on the sideline to our left as they look to be the first 2 subs to come in for Taylor this evening. No score, just almost 16 minutes in here to the opening half. Marian with the only shot. It was saved. And we remain scoreless. Taylor has dominated the possession, though. They've still, been unable to get any good scoring opportunities, but they have played with the ball in their attacking half for most of our opening 16 minutes. Johnson right sideline. He'll send one forward with a big right foot. Whelan behind the defense. Pushed from behind, and this one rolls out across the end line. And we wait for the signal from our official on the near side of the field. It will be a Taylor corner. Second one of the night for the Trojans. Whelan looked to be pushed from behind by Almami Diaby. And it rolls across the end line. It will stay here with TU on a corner. Second one of the night for the Trojans. James McBride will stand over it. Same thing for Raider on the near side corner. If Raider takes it, it would be with the right foot. If McBride takes it, it will be with his left. And it looks like the way that McBride is standing over, it looks like he would be the one to take this corner. He'll right foot a pass up to the near sideline and Alberghetti. And now Marian has to shift the defense. Alberghetti plays it to the top of the box. There's Paul McBride, a high header to the near side. Raider trying to box out his defender. Hits the turf, takes a high bounce to the sky. And then Bullock, this is Tommy Bullock, will fight with Raider, who's able to get the ball off to Jay McBride. A pass back to Alberghetti, back into the box. Whelan tracking it. He'll let the defender jump into the air, then Whelan will scamper after the loose ball to the far side of the field. Maloney sends it back into the box. Lynn tried to get his head on it, knocked out of there by Almami Diaby. And a foul called against the Trojans. A free kick upcoming here for Marian. First foul of the night against TU. You can hear the Vuvuzela horns across from us by the Taylor 12th man student section across from us. They have hung their international flags on the chain link fence across from us. They've also brought back the Indiana Wesleyan homecoming sign, which they borrowed last weekend. It looks like they are continuing to borrow it here tonight. 27 minutes remaining here in the opening half. Marian goes from right to left in blue and yellow striped jerseys. Taylor in the all-white. Their stripes go vertically. A horizontal stripe of purple. And the vertical stripes there for Marian, they are in yellow. Raider back to James McBride. Pass not enough velocity to get there, and Bliley will take it away for the time being. Alberghetti gets physical, will steal the ball away, and then drive one in deep as Jensen goes sprinting after it. He's got the inside position on Paul McBride of Taylor. They'll pass it into the box, and the keeper, Miranda. Big right foot from Miranda up near midfield. Alberghetti into the air. Got it down and then slipped it on back, I should say, to Maloney. Michael holding on the left side of the field. Taylor going from left to right and white. A back heel kick from Whelan. Raider turns on the Jets. Sammy Bullock, the first one to it, and then he'll dump it out of bounds. James McBride throws it into Raider. Posting up with Bullock on him. A little punch to the end line. And the flag goes in the air as they whistle James McBride for being offside for the second time tonight. So Holwerda and Gilliam both ready to come in here for TU. Holwerda, a goal and an assist on the season. Gilliam with an assist and 6 shots. Diaby to Jensen and then back to Diaby. Diaby, a senior from the Ivory Coast who played his high school soccer in Indianapolis at North Central High School, which has a fine, fine soccer program. And here's Diaby again on the near side. Looking for someone and only sees his white, and that one had a lot of heat to it, but it flies through everybody and goes out of bounds across the end line to our left. So Nicholas Barrera enters for Marian. He's our first sub of the night. He replaces
that one for Marian.
Ahmed Sidibe.
Nicholas Barrera.
That's a Williams goal kick, calmly played to the near side, and Salako for Taylor. He'll right foot this one across midfield. 2 defenders hounding around P. McBride. Headed back to Lynn of Taylor. Passing to space, Whelan trying to step away from the pressure of Jensen. Could not get away. Raider tries to win it. Loses his footing. The ball played to the near side, and Andrew Johnson of Taylor. Johnson to Whelan, tapped away. Trying to pounce on it is the newcomer Barrera with those fresh legs. Whelan, pass of the near side of the speedster and McBride. Diaby shoves him with a forearm right to the back. McBride not having any of it. Goes right back at the bigger Diaby, who's 5'9", 190. Paul McBride, 5'7", 140. And the foul called here against Marian right on the end line. And so Raider with another good opportunity here on a free kick as the Trojans look for their first shot of the night here in a scoreless contest with less than 24 minutes remaining here in half one. Raider will start out of bounds on the end line and then play it in with the left foot. Left hand into the air, left foot into the ball. In swinger to the back post over Salako, bouncing all the way towards the end line. McBride will hold it in, will play it back into the middle, and the flag goes in the air. The ball snagged by the keeper, Miranda. Here comes Marian the other way as Raider trying to connect with his fellow senior Charbel Salako, the 6'5 defender out of Ireland, but cannot find the big fella's forehead. And now Marian will regroup and set things up from the defensive half. Here on a wet track here tonight with rain showers coming through the upland area for most of the afternoon. So far, no rain here since the contest has started. But it did look like when we woke up this morning, it did look like we might be having some thunderstorms and some heavy rain with our contest going tonight. There was actually talk of the women's match down in Indianapolis, having to get moved indoors. Tommy Bullock comes from his defensive spot on the right wing, will pass it back up top to Lucas Brown. And then Brown will lay it back to Gammon, then back to Bullock on the right sideline. Marian controlling. They have the only shot of the night so far. Still no goals to speak of from either side. Brown plays it all the way back near midfield. It's stolen by Paul McBride. Will give it off to his fellow speedster. That's his brother, James McBride. Left sideline, big dribble from James, trying to hold it in. But it goes out, last touched by the younger Bullock. That's Sammy. And before Taylor can get things going again, reinforcements will come in for the Trojans.
Number 10, Luke Ford, and number 18.
Logan Hatter comes in for Marian.
Ford,
Same thing with Timmy Ane.
For Marian, number 19, Logan Hatter.
And so Holwerda and Gilliam come in. They're replacing the McBride brothers at the forward spots. And Timmy Ane, a sophomore forward, and Logan Hatter, a junior midfielder, have entered for Marian. So Marian has gone to the bench with 4 reserves here in the opening half. Actually, make it 3, excuse me. And the Trojans have just brought in their first 2 reserves tonight. Here's one of them in Gilliam. And this one deflected out to the near side. A throw in here for Marian. Jensen to Diaby. No pressure from the Taylor forwards, and so Diaby with all night to figure out where he wants to dish it off to. He will pick the younger Sammy Bullock. Whelan applying pressure on Diaby, excuse me. And there's the newcomer Hatter. Long pass far side, wanted Lucas Brown. And again, it's deflected back, and Marian will set things up in the defensive half. Less than 21 minutes to go here before halftime. No score between the Trojans and the Marian Knights. Lynn steals it. A little backheel dump to Gilliam. Alberghetti will play it on back to the defender Gallup. And out to his fellow defender Salako. Near sideline, Andrew Johnson. He'll right foot in deep and let Whelan go chase after it. He tries a swing around. It's headed in. Whelan stops running as Diaby hopped into the air and headed it towards his own goal. Thankfully for Diaby, Whelan was trying to track the ball in the air. Miranda no trouble there to scoop it up. And the Marian keeper sends this one back into play. Sammy Bullock to Diaby. And then Jensen on the near sideline with Gilliam applying pressure on him. Less than 20 minutes to go here in the opening half. Just one shot between either side tonight. Did not find the back of the net. It was stopped by the Taylor keeper, Luke Williams. To the box it goes, and Williams will track it down and stop it with the heel of his right foot. He'll dribble it into the box. And a couple steps forward there from Barrera forces Williams to scoop it up, and he rolls it out to Salako. Near sideline, the pass comes to Gilliam. Hesitates, then goes through 2 defenders. Salako, a right-footed pass forward over everyone's heads. An easy jog is Christopher Jensen's of MU. Long pass from Jensen. Rhodes wanted it, tried to get it. Alberghetti has his arm being pulled, looking for a foul that he won't get. Here comes Hatter to the middle of the field and Rhodes. 2 Taylor defenders around him, force him to retreat. They play it all the way back to Sammy Bullock. Bliley for Marian, and then near sideline to Jensen. One touch, left-footed curler, all the way to the end line over everyone's heads as Ane went chasing after it. And Williams will throw it in here, or excuse me, will kick it back in for TU. .15 remaining here in the opening half. Marian and Taylor are scoreless. The Knights come in one of the top teams in the Crossroads League, tied for 4th in the league standings with Bethel. A 6-4-1 overall record, a 2-2 league record. Taylor, meanwhile, 3-7-1. They're 0-3-1 with their first league point coming this past Saturday on the road against Grace in a match that went to double overtime, but was called about halfway through that second overtime session due to some heavy thunderstorms that came through, and those storms actually also played a part in delaying the women's match later this past Saturday night. Out of bounds on Taylor. Jensen will throw it in near sideline for the Knights with 17:30 and counting here in half number 1 and no score. Jensen holds the ball over his head, throws it into space. Rader tracks it. He and Rhodes collided into the air. Make that Bliley, and then here comes Bullock dancing in with it, runs into traffic, tries to throw his weight around, and then loses the ball. Rader was looking Lynn's way. Now will try to play it up to him. Lynn knocks it down with his knee, loses his footing, and Marian will steal it on the near side with the aforementioned Bliley. Trying to fake away from Gilliam. Johnson with him step for step. Now Johnson engages. Bliley will just get shoved right out of the way by Johnson. Then Bliley will take Johnson down behind the end line. Their legs get tangled. Johnson not happy with the initial tackle with the hands by Bliley. And Johnson comes over to talk things over with our head official, Stan Smith. 13, number 13, Clay Vanderkolk ready to come in for Taylor. He jogs in now. He's the third sub of the night for TU. He replaces Peter Lynn. Just about 16 minutes to go here before halftime. 0-0 our score between TU and Marian. Rader heading it forward. Wheeland will chest it down, then he'll volley it into the air over everyone's heads. A nice play back with his back to midfield there by Christopher Jensen of Marian. If he misplays that one, Wheeland or Gilliam or Holwarda, who are all around there, can take off like a shot and head towards the Marian goal. Instead, a nice play there by the aforementioned Jensen. And Taylor will throw it in from the far sideline. Jack Robertson down at the midfield stripe, ready to come in for Marian at the next opportunity. Gilliam, near sideline, will jump, will punch it into space for the speedy Josiah Lynn, who just takes a forearm right to the back. A rough play there by the Marian defender. That's number 14, Jensen, out of Denmark. Wheeland okay after taking the forearm shiver to the shoulder. And Josiah was initially going to throw it in, and now Johnson, who normally handles these throw-ins for Taylor, will back up and take it. Backs up on to the concrete and heaves it into the box. Rader back heel kick, try to play it on. No one there in white, and an easy snag for the keeper, Miranda of Marian. Less than 15 minutes to go before halftime. 0-0 our score between Taylor and Marian. Wheeland in the middle. Back to Alberghetti, who's out of Argentina, I should say. To Andrew Johnson from New Britain, PA. Rader headed it down. Two defenders were around him. It looked like Diaby was the one that came flying in front. Rader got his head on it, but Taylor could not keep it moving forward with Holwarda, who was behind Rader on the weak side. Tommy Bullock tries to dance away from Holwarda and does. Rader throws his toe on a pass, and it rolls to the feet of his teammate Charbel Salako for Taylor. Johnson dribbling for Taylor. Near sideline, Gilliam steps across midfield, keeps the ball on the near sideline. Pass to Wheeland, too far for him to get to. And Gammon calls everyone off for Marian and chases the loose ball down. Gammon to Hatter. Then back to Tommy Bullock on the far sideline for MU. Alberghetti getting physical. He's able to keep the ball at his feet. A very physical match at times here tonight. With less than 13:30 to go in half number 1. Long pass from Rader into the box over everyone's heads, and Miranda, the keeper, snags it for Marian. Off-target pass for MU. And two more subs come in, one for either side. Jack Robertson, the freshman forward from Columbus, Indiana for Marian. And Paul Eganoff, the freshman from the senior from Mooresville, Indiana, replaces Josiah Wheeland. Coming off for MU is Jeffrey Rhodes. Gallup. A long pass forward. Eganoff comes in to apply pressure. Actually, made that Vanderkolk, was the one sprinting forward to put some pressure on Miranda. Tried to slip through Diaby and another Marian defender. The Knights circling, and then Miranda just clears it up to midfield. Johnson chesting down to the space. A little tap over to Rader. An off-target pass intended for Gilliam. Almost lost by Jensen. He's able to get it back, but now Eganoff takes it from him. Rader to Gilliam. Shoved from behind by Robertson, and there's a foul against Marian. Their fourth of the night, and it's been a physical match so far, but just a fourth foul on the evening by the visitors. Just one foul tonight for Taylor. Barrera pushing the ball around. They'll have Barrera back up. He's got his right hand in the air, taking his instructions of where his keeper Miranda would like him to stand. A whole gaggle of folks standing on the left edge of the box. No one near the speedy Holwerda, though, trying to get a clean run in. Rader trying to find him. Holwerda trying to track it back. Post run by Alex Gallup. He slides in, got his foot on it, but cannot play it anywhere near back to the box. It goes out and will set up a Marian goal kick. But it was Holwerda, the one with no one marking him for Marian. He had a clear run on the left side of the box, and it looked like that's where Rader was trying to get it to, just could not find him cleanly. Gallup, the defender, was storming in again, but again could not put it on frame cleanly. Diaby to Bliley. Bullock, far sideline, taken away. Vanderkolk trying to get away from the elder Bullock. Back to Holwerda. The freshman in too hard of a dribble, lost it. A bouncer towards midfield where Rader will control for Taylor. Overstepped it by one small step. And then Maloney wins it back for Taylor at midfield. Crossfield pass. Wants to find Gilliam over his head and headed down by Marian to Barrera. Slides through the tackle of Gilliam. Barrera still galloping forward. And Sulaco steps in and takes it away. Gilliam a dump into space. No one there in white. And here comes a long-haired Logan Hatter. His crossfield pass to the far side easily stolen by Taylor's freshman Luke Holwerda, who had 34 goals and 17 assists last year as a senior at Wheaton Academy up in Illinois, just outside of Chicago. Trev Didelot, Patrick Palmer, and Jake Anderson all ready to come in for Marian, with 9:44 to go here in this first half. Good pressure from Holwerda. Forces a Marian turnover. And now here's Holwerda legging it out far side. A deep play in. Eganoff in a foot race with Diaby. Eganoff got there. Someone kicked it out of bounds off the end line. Who was it? It was Diaby of Marian. And here comes the Taylor corner. This time for the first time from the far side of the field. It'll be the third corner of the night here for the Trojans. For the first time tonight, Jeremiah Rader will take a corner kick. Tommy Bullock stands in front of him. Now Robertson marking the steps of Taylor's Luke Holwerda. In-swinger, heading it on, and that one stopped on the near side on a header from Andrew Johnson. One of the defenders for Marian, it looked like number 17, Bliley, got his right foot on it. And that one, if Bliley isn't there on the near side post, Johnson's header would have put Taylor up 1-0. Fires it in. Holwerda knocked down in the box after losing his footing. And now Marian tries to clear after dodging a big one right there on their first team save of the night. So each team with a shot on goal, and each time neither team's been able to find the back of the net. 8:21 to go here in half one. Johnson slides, tried to keep it going in Taylor's favor, could not.
Now in for Marian, number 31, number 16, and number 21.
So number 16, Trev Didelot, Jake Anderson, and Patrick Palmer all come in here for the Marian Knights. Less than 8 to go here in half number one, no score. But an excellent opportunity there from Andrew Johnson a few moments ago on a header on a corner. Bliley back to the younger Sammy Bullock. Former Avon Oriole. To the newcomer Patrick Palmer, an Eastern Illinois transfer. He used to be a Panther at EIU. And Taylor passes to Alberghetti. Right footing one to the speedy Holwerda. Just a little bit underneath, and that one headed to the far sideline by MU. But it looks like Patrick Palmer was the one to get it away. Now Holwerda, left sideline being marked by Bullock. Holwerda tries to hit the brakes and rotate. His hand was on the ground, and that's what Marian's screaming for a handball that they will not get. MU plays it all the way up to midfield and Hatter. Hatter with some time and then plays it on back to the far side of the field. Diaby, senior defender. Little play near side to Palmer, then back to the middle of the field and the big fellow Diaby. Bliley down to Palmer. Barrera in trouble, finds Bliley, and then the outlet here is Diaby back on the defensive half. The captain to Sammy Bullock. And now Didolo controls at midfield. Knocking it down. Ane looking to cross. Getting to the end line. Gets it in. This one sails over the goal and all the way to the near side of the field as Ane was able to keep that one in play. Ferreira tried to play it away from Johnson. Could not. And then Palmer will throw it in for MU on the near sideline with less than 6 minutes remaining here in the opening half. No score between Taylor and Marian. Each team with one shot. Each team has one shot on goal, and each of the keepers, well, the Taylor keeper, Luke Williams, has gotten the save, and then Bliley got the save for Marian, saving a goal for the Knights. Rader gets physical, takes the ball away near midfield, fakes and trying to spin away from the pesky Bliley. And Rader finally dances away, then gets the ball back from Sulaco in the middle of the field. Right foots one down to Maloney. To the middle, and Alberghetti goes off his heel, and here comes Bliley on a dead sprint. Bliley with the middle, Sulaco falls down. Bliley dribbling in, tried to center, and then a sliding stop is Alex Gallops to deflect the pass away as Hatter was sprinting in with all of his might towards the middle of the field, anticipating an easy crossing pass from Bliley after Sulaco slipped. Now a long pass from Taylor to Holwerda, chesting it down to Gilliam. Dribbling in the middle. Gilliam trying to turn back over that right shoulder, laying it on back in trouble. Here's Vander Kolk faking a shot. Then to the near sideline and Eganoff. Little shoulder shindig before he passes off to Andrew Johnson. He'll sweep it to the middle of the field. Johnson measuring, trying to find Gilliam. Too far for him, and Diaby lets it roll all the way to Miranda, whose heels rest on the end line. .4:33 remaining here in the opening half. No score between Taylor and Marian. And Bliley will hold on the near side of the field before passing off to the reserve Patrick Palmer. Palmer accelerating to the middle. Gilliam forcing him to hit the brakes and then pass it all the way to the back line and Sammy Bullock. Up to Didolo. Hatter in the middle. Turns and sends it on. Knocked down by Gallup. But it goes off of Gallup's forearm. Here comes a dangerous opportunity for the Marian Knights. About 28 yards outside the goal with less than 4 minutes remaining here in the opening stanza. Nicholas Barrera stands over it. Same thing with Jack Robertson. Ferreira, right foot in, right towards Williams, who dives and stops it and smothers it up for his second save of the night. But Williams now slow to get back up. Might have landed right on that ball on his midsection. 3:10 and counting. Our head official, referee Stan Smith, goes to check on Williams. He dove all the way to his left. He's also shaking out that left arm a little bit. It sounded like Marian, I thought up here too that Luke might have just been laying down there trying to take as much time as he can. but then stayed down there longer than he normally does, and that's when the official Stan Smith had to go in and check on him. So a good save there, great save there by Williams, his second one of the night. And we stay tied at 0. Diaby carrying forward to Ferreira, who got the most recent shot. Bliley all by himself in midfield. Rotates and gives off to Palmer along this left sideline. His crossfield pass, errant. Holward deflected it right up off of his chin. Pounces and gets the ball back momentarily. Who gives off to Alberghetti. It's taken away by Marian with 2:06 to go before halftime. Slow play from Robertson. He slips, and it's taken away by Eganoff. Actually, make that Vanderkolk, who took it away and gave it up to Eganoff. Hustling after it is Bliley. He backs off as Salako lets the ball roll to his feet. 1:45 to go before halftime. Scoreless here from Upland, Indiana. Robertson rotating. A pass off to Hatter. We'll slip it on back to Bliley. Then to the middle of the field. And a right-footed pass to the near side headed away by Johnson off the right foot from Didello. Raider with the defender around his back is Ferreira. Rotates and gets some space and a calm pass to Johnson with 80 seconds remaining here in the opening half. Eganoff trying to hustle to the middle. Vanderkolk there as well. And Marian with one last push here with 70 seconds to go before halftime. Ferreira slips, and Johnson's pass is blocked away as Ferreira got back to his feet. Here comes Owen Hardy, 4 in white. He replaces Gilliam.
Owen Hardy.
So one last go here. We'll see if they try to work into the speedster Hardy with 50 seconds remaining in half one with no score. Bullock to the keeper Miranda, who dribbles with it and steps in and smokes one forward with a right foot. Gallup able to out-jump the man in front of him, but Marian holds on this side of the field. This is on a right side, trying to run the give and go. He'll track the deflected pass down. He'll pass it off of Holwarda, and with 26 seconds left, Marian throws it in. They move it to the middle, pass intercepted by Vanderkolk. 19 seconds left. He'll drive it forward, and then Eganoff will dig to the far sideline. He'll be trying to be boxed out, and then Marian kicks it out of play with 10 seconds left. Eganoff gets back with 9, with 8, into Hardy with 6, with 5, with 4,
3, 2,
into the corner.
1.
Offside flag in the air, but that will be our last play here of half number 1. A shot for Taylor, 2 shots for Marian. All 3 shots have been saved tonight by respective players on each team. 2 saves for Luke Williams, 1 save for Nathan Bliley, but it'll go down as a team save for Marian. And after 45 minutes, we are scoreless here on the Trojan Sports Network. This is Taylor Men's Soccer here on the Trojan Sports Network. We're back with the BSN Sports Halftime Report after this commercial break.
The decision you're making is about so much more than where you'll spend the next 4 years. It's about how you'll live the next 40. So let me break down the Taylor University experience. We integrate faith and learning to become well-rounded, lifelong learners, while delivering a deeper knowledge of our specific areas of study. Whether you're producing award-winning films, building satellites for NASA, or preparing for a national ethics debate, Taylor will push you to excel in your field. But excellence isn't always about having the right answers. Sometimes it's about asking the right questions. Taylor is interdenominational. That means we can't always fall back on specific church doctrine to settle issues. We rely on scripture, and the dynamic nature of iron sharpening iron to better know the God who's not afraid of our question. Much of this happens in the small town of Upland, Indiana, the place where Taylor does life together. But don't let this small town fool you. The schedule is packed with things to do, and through these activities, faculty, staff, and students become more than individuals occupying the same address. They become a community. But this community isn't limited to the campus. We travel, boy do we travel. We are ranked as one of the top 10 schools in the country for overseas experiences. But it isn't just about the going. It's about the sharing of those experiences and being challenged by those who come to Upland as their international experience. Taylor is one of a few Christian colleges that expects all students to have a relationship with Jesus Christ. Now, this doesn't mean Taylor is a Christian Disneyland full of cardboard cutout perfection. Taylor is full of real people with real problems, and living together can get kind of messy. But in that mess, we take Jesus' call from John 13 seriously. We practice picking up our towel and dealing with the mess in each other's lives. We're not here just to follow the rules for 4 years. Instead, we hope to learn to live authentic lives, calling each other to lives of meaning. Every day, our focus remains on the 40, not just the 4. We'd love to show you more about Taylor. Come visit. Sit in on a class, go to chapel, spend a night in a residence hall. Experience the difference for yourself.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 6 different levels of membership for you to choose from. You can join for as low as $100, all the way up to the athletic director level for $1,500. Each level receives premiums, complimentary season tickets, as well as gifts from the athletic department. Members also receive special recognition during halftime of the annual Silent Night game. In recent years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics, like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-5311 or log on to athletics.taylor.edu and search Trojan Club. The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University student athletes. Greek's Pizzeria in Upland opened its doors in December of 2017. Over the years, there have been more than 140 Greeks opened across the country, with 24 Indiana locations. When it comes to pizza, Greeks offers customers the option to create their own pizza or to try one of Greek's specialized pizzas. Greeks uses fresh, homemade, hand-tossed dough, Greek's Italian sauce, select blended cheeses, gourmet toppings, and the same method of preparation since the first restaurant opened in 1969. The kitchen can also whip up a sandwich served on fresh French-style bread, or can put that sandwich into a pizza shell wrap. Customers can also add breadsticks or French-style bread as a side item. Greeks also offers a selection of salads and assorted dressings as well. Greeks is located just off Main Street in Upland and is a proud supporter of Taylor University athletics. Greek's Pizzeria, it's our taste.
The Taylor University campus store, with their innovative textbook butler delivery service and name brand Taylor apparel and gifts, supports the Trojans year-round. The campus store, powered by Tree of Life Books, is a proud corporate partner of TU Athletics. It's easy to find something to show off someone's TU pride with 2 campus locations, one in the Dome and one in the campus center near the food court. The store is also open 24/7 at taylorcampusstore.com.
Your heart? Well, your heart is everything to you and your body, and its favorite place to be is home. Marian General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center, which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH. From our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities at larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise. At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, and Rob Sisson, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Since opening in the late 1980s, the Maddox Family Dental Center has been focusing on providing the highest quality dental care for their patients. Children to adults can receive a full-service treatment to meet their dental needs. The Maddox Family Dental Center has 2 locations in Hartford City and Dunkirk and always welcomes new patients. The Maddox Family Dental Center, a proud corporate partner of Taylor University Athletics.
Play that old song! You really want her to play it. That's what's really going to evoke the memory. You gotta have the music that you listeners listen to.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
back here at Turner Stadium. One sub to tell you about. And it's number 5, Mason Mockabee, the 6'1 junior from Evansville, Indiana, makes the start here in the second half at the center back position opposite Sammy Bullock. He and Trev Didelot, the only starters here in the second half that did not start our first half for Marian. And the same 11 that started the contest for Taylor are back out there as well. So both McBride brothers and Wheeland are the forwards up top. Rader, Alberghetti, and Peter Lynn are your midfielders. Your defenders, Maloney, Johnson, Gallup, and Salako Williams is the keeper. 2 shots in the first half for Marian, 1 for TU. And all 3 shots were on goal for both teams. As now Marian attacks the goal to our left. Here's Didelot. James McBride comes back to defend him. Pass to the near side, too hard for Tommy Bullock to handle. He's able to keep it in, though, however. Looked at that one was destined to be going out of bounds, but Bullock gets it back. A back heel kick from Ferreira. He gets it back on the right side of the field, trying to work it on through. But he cannot connect with Jeffrey Rhodes. Ferreira again, his pass deflected out of there by Maloney this time. And McBride on the near side of the field to go out and be a throw-in for Tommy Bullock. Bullock directing traffic with that left hand, throws it into the top of the box in Sidibe. Trying to pass it back to a teammate. He kicks it out of bounds as no one in blue was there. Taylor going from right to left in white. Wheeland to Maloney, who spins on that heel and drives it forward. Wanted to find Paul McBride, could not get it to him. Here's brother James McBride. Into space near side, and Jeremiah Rader. Up to Wheeland, trying to leg it out, but the younger Sammy Bullock is there to beat him to it. But then Miranda has to go off of his shin and out of bounds. And it was not Miranda unable to play it. And this one will go out of bounds and be a corner from the near side of the field for TU. Their 4th of the night, first one of the second half. Rader tries to set it up quick and does, bashing it in with the right foot. Back post, Paul McBride in, Wheeland tapped around, still loose, and then Marian clears it. Paul McBride sent it in. There was Alex Gallup again. 12 in white again, who's been around all of these corners tonight for Taylor. Looked like he's footing just a little bit off. Was unable to play it back onto the frame. Maloney throws it into traffic in Wheeland. Coming out of those, James McBride with it. Wants to go to the middle of the field, boxed out, however, by Nathan Bliley. But then Wheeland comes back, takes it away for a moment, and then the pass sent in deep by Tommy Bullock of Marian. And Alberghetti will play it all the way in to his keeper, Luke Williams. Salako left foots it up. Knocked down by Jay McBride. Wheeland a back heel kick. A little too fancy for Rader to keep working with as it bounced behind where he was coming from. But Taylor able to keep possession, and Gallup will work it into Lynn at midfield. Back to the defensive side, near side Maloney. Right foot up to James McBride. Jay McBride wanted to spin over that left shoulder, instead passes back to Lynn, had to backpedal a little bit, try to avoid pressure, could not get the pass cleanly away, and Bliley is able to take it away thanks to the help of Didelot. Ferreira for Marian, up to Rhodes. He's got Bullock racing near side, and 30 in blue, not fast enough to get to that long-range pass. A good run, though, by the older of the Bullock brothers. Maloney in, trying to find McBride, and then cleared to the end line by the left foot of Trev Didelot for Marian. Taylor in white jerseys and white shorts with white socks. Purple striped jerseys horizontally. And purple numbers. Marian with blue jerseys, blue pants, blue socks, and those yellow stripes up and down the front. The numbers are in blue. Same thing for the letters, trimmed in yellow. A turnover by TU. Rhodes has it to the middle and Ferreira. Sidibe cutting in front, poked away by Andrew Johnson of Taylor. Alberghetti to the near side. Maloney a long right-footed pass. But using his size is Sammy Bullock to force the smaller Wieland out of the way. Just about 5 minutes in here to the half number 2. And we have no score. Here's a newcomer, Maccabee. His long pass intercepted by Taylor's Andrew Johnson. Measuring things in front, he sees his classmate Raider racing forward, deflected away by Marian. Paul McBride tried to push it forward. Maccabee took it away from him and then rotates on the left side of the field to avoid any more trouble. A bulleted left-footed pass forward. Lynn will knock it away from trouble once. And Salaka will touch it over to Johnson right side, who tries to race away from Ferreira. Little heel kick on there from Wieland. And then Marian will clear it up the left sideline, with Andrew Johnson controlling. A whistle blows. It looks like it was last touched by TU at some point during those plays. Marian coached by second-year man Ernie Yarborough. Taylor led by 15th-year head man Gary Ross. The Trojans in desperate need of a win tonight. In last place in the Crossroads League standings, but 3 points out of the last playoff spot, with 3 teams in a 3-way tie for sixth. Taylor wanting a corner, saying that Maccabee touched it before it went across the end line. Instead, the refereeing crew says last touched by Paul McBride, 11 in white. And so Miranda, the senior from Brazil, will send the goal kick back in for MU. A short kick. Lynn skies forward and heads it towards the near side of the field. Tommy Bullock knocks it down. They try to get it back to him. The back heel kick by Bliley goes out, and Maloney will throw it in for Taylor along this near sideline as Taylor goes from left to right in white. Maloney to midfield and Lynn. Back to the defensive half, the right side, and Andrew Johnson. Johnson to Lynn, trying to get away from the pesky Gammon. And Gammon uses his size to force Lynn off of his path. Lynn looks up for a foul that will not come from our head official, Stan Smith. Maccabee carrying forward. Taylor waiting to apply pressure. Now Wieland and Paul McBride do. Sammy Bullock, to Tommy Bullock. And then Bliley back to the younger Bullock. Into the box where Miranda will send it deep. Alberghetti heading it down near midfield. This one rolls past everybody. And then Nathan Bliley whistled for a foul as he leapt into the air and landed partially on James McBride. Bliley not happy with the call, but Taylor will take this free kick 10 yards inside midfield. 5th foul against the visitors from Indianapolis tonight. Raider will play this from the near side of the field. A whole host of players now crisscross at the top of the box. Raider plays it in, trying to find Gallup on the right side of the box, heading it down into space. And then Maccabee sends it out of there for Marian in the box. Played back in by Maloney, headed out of there again, this time by Sidibe of Marian. Now the Knights trying to get a run on the far side. A missed kick by one of the Knights midfielders. Looks to be Bliley there. And Taylor will keep going to the goal to our left. Paul McBride to the right corner, and Wieland, a centering ball over McBride's head. Raider tried to get his toe on it, but he just missed it by a hair. Didelot was able to prevent Raider from getting a clean play in the box. Then Johnson leaps forward and knees this one through everybody. And the ball rolls into the box, calmly played by Miranda, the keeper. Palms up for Didelot as he looks for help. Instead, we'll have to swing and play it back to Sammy Bullock. Maccabee carrying left side, a big left-footed pass. This one away from everybody, and he'll send it down to the Taylor keeper, Luke Williams, who stops it with his left foot. Directing, and then kicks it near side to Gallup. Gallup to Lynn, back to Gallup. Leaps into the air and plays it down with the left foot. Little punch forward to Maloney. Into space to Rader, who turns and sees just green artificial surface in front of him. He'll knock it on back to Sulaco. 10 minutes into the second half. 0-0 between Taylor and Marian. Rader into the air, taken away momentarily by Gammon. And now Sidibe rotates over that left shoulder, trying to press it forward. It was stolen away by TU. Rader, little volley into the air. Whelan hits the brakes, try to deflect it back to the middle, then taken away and then smashed deep by Marian. Into the box, Williams will backpedal and he'll let it bounce in to the 18 and then rolls it back out to Charbel Sulaco on the right side of the field. Knocked down in midfield by MU. Lynn to Alberghetti. A near sideline pass to Maloney. Racing forward is the speedy Tommy Bullock. Taken away by Maloney, controlled by James McBride. Maloney steps up midfield stripe, gives off to McBride. James to Paul, then tried to go back to James. Maloney holding it in. Runs through a couple tackles. Ball almost able to slip on through. Instead, Lynn will scamper and eat up the loose ball, then work it back into Williams inside the 18. Williams willing to spin it, or excuse me, Johnson willing to spin away from Sidibe. Those two men jostle. And now here's Marian with it in the middle of the field. Good individual effort. Left side of the field, they look to cross. Do with the left foot. Gallup is right there, and he heads that one away from trouble for Taylor. Whelan tried to hold it in on the far sideline, could not. And Sidibe looked to be the one to throw it in. Instead, he will dump it down to one of his teammates to heap it in. Sammy Bullock to Bliley, back to Bullock. He retreats and finds Miranda, who is 10 yards outside the top of the 18-yard box. 33 minutes remaining here in half number 2. No score between Taylor and Marian. No shots yet to speak of here at half 2. The two teams combined for just 3 in that opening half. 2 for Marian, 1 for Taylor. Rader got a piece of the throw-in, but could not work it any farther up to Whelan. There's a ball bouncing in. McBride with a space, shouldered from behind. McBride trying to get it down to his feet. This is James, and then pushed back as McBride falls down holding his forehead. And it goes out off of Marian. Good speed there from James McBride. And Johnson will throw it in for Taylor from the far sideline. Taylor attacking the goal to our left. No score between the Trojans and the Knights here so far. Johnson throws it in. Rader heads it high into the air. Whelan to tracking it. Marian heads it straight up to the sky. Deflected around and cleared out of the box by MU. Mistiming a jump. Looked to be Rhodes or Brown for MU. But no trouble as it looks like here comes Ferreira from the middle of the field. Make that Gammon. A nice pass near side of Tommy Bullock with Paul McBride hot on his heels. The ball deflects towards the beginning of the box. And then Paul McBride tried to clear it away. Held in, however, by Bliley. And then a foul whistled against the young McBride. It's the first one on Paul tonight. Second one against TU. And with 31-30 just about here in the second half, Marian has got a free kick from the right side of the field. 23 yards out from the goal. 5 yards outside the box. Ferreira, Jensen, and it looks like Sidibe all standing over this one. Now Sidibe walks away. Ferreira looks to be the right-footed player. Jensen would be the left-footed player. 4-man wall for Taylor. Jensen's left hand is in the air. Bullock sneaking behind both of them to the near side. They'll dump it to Bullock near the end line, trying to chase it down. Centers it back in. It goes off of Alberghetti's head and goes straight into the night sky. A crafty play there by Marian as they snuck the defender Tommy Bullock in behind the two players standing over the ball for the goal kick, or for the free kick, excuse me. And now here comes the first corner of the night for Marian. They'll play it in with a left foot from the near side corner. A low missile that's headed out of there by Alberghetti. MU trying to hold it in. They volley it back into this one wide of everything. to the far side post. Holwerda and Gilliam come in here early for TU, giving the McBride brothers a breather.
Number 18, Cole Gilliam.
As we approach 15 minutes in here to half two. So Holwerda and Gilliam, the first two in off the bench for Taylor here in the second half as the Trojans look for offense. Just one shot on the night. And it was an expert save by Bliley, the defender. Or the midfielder, I should say, for Marian off of a header from Andrew Johnson. Bliley stepped in and closed down on the ball with space left open by the keeper, Miranda. Ferreira shoved away by Gallup. Ball held in here on the near side of the field by Didelot for Marian. Back to Bullock, then back across midfield to his younger brother, Sammy. So Tommy to Sammy. And then Sammy to Mason Maccabee. He eludes Rader. A slide from Lynn. Knocks the ball free momentarily. Gilliam fighting for it. Then Rader trying to keep it going in Taylor's way. Johnson will play it up to him. Rader steps through a tackle. Slips and is able to get the pass off to Lynn, who just punch it forward to Whelan as Lynn taken down. Here's Whelan in the middle, trying to create. Whelan moving to his right, ball poked away. And Gilliam will pounce on it for Taylor on the right sideline. He'll dump it into the deep corner, looking to cross. Here it comes. It's deflected across the end line. This will tick off the top of the fence and go all the way out of the complex. But Taylor will get ready for their fifth corner of the night. This one will be from the far side of the field. And Jeremiah Rader will have the honor.
Let's go, Brown.
28:30 to go here in half number two. No rain to speak of here. We had some rain before the contest started. So far, we have been raindrop free. In-swinger from the left foot of Rader. Punched out of there by the keeper, Miranda. Gilliam trying to hold it. Here's Rader, right side of the box. Dribbling it away from pressure, but still held in as Holwerda throws a foot out there. But here comes Ferreira with a head of steam for Marian. Holwerda makes him step on the brakes. He'll lay it on back to Sidibe. And now Ferreira tries to get away from the double team of Holwerda and Gilliam. Got it to Sidibe, who sweeps it forward with the right foot. In the middle of the field is Bliley of Marian. Near side, Tommy Bullock. Stepping in front is Ferreira. And then Whelan comes back, pokes it away from him. Then he'll slip it on back to Maloney. Maloney's pass deflected high in the air. Rader trying to shoulder his way around Gammon. And then Rader throws that right foot forward, and they whistle Jeremiah for the foul as Gammon lost his footing. Rader's foot looked to have contacted part of the hand of Gammon. Here's a quick restart for the Knights. Third foul against Taylor this evening. Dribbling the space is Rhodes. Maloney will mark him. Rhodes to the trailing Ferreira. And then a little give and go to the end line. Trying to play it in. Rhodes does. All the way weak side. That one sails over Sidibe's head by a good 4 feet. Gilliam right sideline. Long pass into space. And the only ones back there are those wearing blue. Miranda to Sammy Bullock on the near sideline. Then this one through to Rhodes, taken away by Taylor's Cole Gilliam. Johnson to slide. He'll keep this one from dancing out of bounds on the right sideline. Sammy Bullock dribbling forward. Ferreira plays it back. Then gets it back from Sammy Bullock in midfield. Rader jumping right in front of him. There's Christopher Jensen left side. Up the field to Sidibe, then back to Jensen again. And it looks like Marian will bring in their first set of subs here of the second half at the next chance. Long pass in as again Miranda keeps playing about 10 to 15 yards in front of that 18-yard box. Miranda pointing where he wants his teammates to cut. Gallup got physical with Ferreira and knocked the ball away from him. Lynn, after the nice play from Gallup, will play it back to Sulaco for Taylor. And a long pass easily scooped up by Bliley of Marian. He sprints up the left side of the field. Over to Sidibe. His cross will sail out of bounds before it can get to the goal. Clay Vanderkolk comes in off the bench for Taylor here in the second half. He'll replace Lynn.
Number 24, and number 10.
Nicholas Barrera, Jack Robertson, and Abel Alvarez enter here for Marian. First two men have already left the field. Sidibe, the junior from Indianapolis, the last one to come off. And it looks like Didolo, another one of the men to get a breather here for MU. 24-30 and counting here in the second half. No score between Taylor and Marian. As Miranda will play it over to Maccabee. Centering ball, Rhodes tracking it down. Williams will hop up and snag it for TU. Foul called against Marian, the 6th one of the night against the Knights. And Maloney will take this one from the near side of the field. .23:38 remaining here in the second half. No score between Taylor and Marian. Right foot into it by Maloney. To the backside of the box, Whelan tracking it. It goes out across the end line, and this one will be a corner for the Trojans from the far side of the field. 6th corner of the night for TU. And it'll be Luke Holward as a take from the far side corner. The Taylor students, clad in white tonight, and the stands across from us now move down to the field level at the very edge of where the stands start. Holward, right hand into the air, left foot into the ball. This one towards the top of the box. Whelan there heads it back in towards the end line. Salako trying to use that size, heading it on, and this one wide of the far side post. That gets a nice round of applause from head coach Gary Ross. Second shot of the night by TU. Salako heading it wide. And we remain scoreless here with less than 23 minutes remaining in half two. Gilliam, that long flowing hair, hops in and heads it down for Taylor. Raider maneuvering with it now to Maloney. He'll left foot it forward to Whelan, who tracks it, throws that right foot out and kills the ball. Rotating back to the near side. Flag is in the air, though. Whelan ruled offside. Third time TU has been offside tonight. First time that's happened here in half two. Gilliam applying pressure on Maccabee. Maloney down. Bullock right there. This is Tommy Bullock. And that ball bounces away. Now it'll be held in here on the near side by Holwerda. Maloney trying to dance away from Robertson, who just came in to start this second half after starting things on the bench. Rhodes, a little push from behind, keeps the ball at his feet for Marian, carrying it up the near side of the field. Gallup throws a left foot out there and gets the tackle. Raider trying to swim away from Rhodes, but Rhodes able to keep it going in Marian's favor. Robertson with Raider right behind him to the near side, and Tommy Bullock, who has to retreat to retract and get that ball. Center one, Williams has it. Confusion in there as Salako got his head on it. It was out across the end line. It'll be last touched by Taylor. And Charbel Salako, who's still in a seated position near the end line, trying to stretch things out, and he gets back to his feet, and he looks to be favoring his left leg a little bit. But he'll come back in here and continue to play. Corner from the near side to be taken by Christopher Jensen. And he'll play it in with the left foot. 20 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in regulation, no score. Left foot in there by Jensen. This one's an absolute rocket headed out of there by Alex Gallup of Taylor. This one goes screaming to the far sideline. It will roll out, and Marian will throw it in. The McBride brothers ready to come back in here near midfield. It looks like their freshman classmate Owen Hardy will be joining in the fun as well. Gilliam forcing his way through. Williams watching this one sail in the air to the near side corner. And it goes out. Last touched by whom? So the McBrides.
Now in for Taylor, number 4.
And Hardy
Owen
come in.
Hardy.
They
Number
replace
6,
Wieland,
James
Holwerda, and
McBride.
Gilliam. So a
And number
complete
11,
forward
Paul
line
McBride.
change up top like you'd see in hockey. The McBrides in along with Hardy. Gilliam, Holwerda, Wieland exit with 19:25 and counting here in half number 2. And no score on the board for either side. Dribbling in deep is Barrera. Too far as it goes out across the end line. It'll be a goal kick for Luke Williams and TU. A quick start here from Williams over to Salako on the right side of the field. Taylor moving from right to left in white. Marian defends in blue. Long pass from Salako. McBride trying to get to it, but he could not as a misplay off the foot of Sammy Bullock. He's able to redeem himself by getting in front of the speedy James McBride. And Miranda, the keeper, able to snag that one for Marian. Alberghetti, a little punch to the right side of the field, intercepted by Gammon of MU. Fought for, last touch by Owen Hardy, and Gammon will throw it in for the Knights. Rhodes looking and measuring. Spinning in, trying to dance away from Hardy, could not, and then Salako drives it forward. Mockabee to hold it in, Jensen left side, he'll send it in with the left foot. Salako heads down in the middle, Raiders sprinting after it, now he'll turn up to the right side. Loses it, taken away by Bliley of Marian. Long range shot, Williams dives, and this one goes wide left. And Marian head coach Ernie Yarborough just beside himself after the Bliley's long range shot. Yarborough could not believe that his player took a shot from so far away.
Now in for Taylor, number 3, Peter Lynn.
Peter Lynn back in for the Trojans, replacing Alberghetti at midfield. 17:40 and counting here in half number 2. No score between Taylor and Marian. Each team with one tie here so far this season. The Trojans tie coming this past Saturday at Grace. But McBride would love to change that. Here comes Hardy and McBride, both there. It's McBride and Hardy. Hardy's shot just blocked by Miranda. Still loose, hustling after it is Vanderkolk right side. Back heel kick, McBride slipped. His shot was missed. McBride back with it again, trying to dance with it through trouble. And then it's finally cleared away by Marian. Miranda almost paid the ultimate price as he slid out too early. One of his defenders fell. And then it was Hardy and James McBride, both there step for step. But the Trojans unable to come with the first score of the night. That looked to be a sure goal for TU, 2-on-1 with the goalie. But then just a missed shot there by the Trojans. And Marian escapes, so the score still 0-0. Centering pass goes wide. Didelot back in for Marian. And Liam Stratton on for the first time tonight. And Lucas Brown comes in for the Knights as well. Brown, a forward up top, the senior from Pittsboro, Indiana. He replaces Rhodes. Jogging off is Gammon for Marian. And also exiting is who else? Abel Alvarez, who just came on a few moments ago. 16:04 and counting here in half 2. No score, but the Trojans had their best scoring opportunity of the night just a few moments ago. Vanderkolk rises high in the air. This one goes off the head of Mockabee. And Paul McBride able to hold it in. Circling on the right side of the field. A pass to the middle and Raider, back to Gallup. Up the field, too far for Raider to get to. And then Marian tries to clear. Vanderkolk holding it in. Runs around, Raider still carrying it in left side. Into space, here's James McBride. McBride faking to his right, to his left, now retreating back. Trying to get fancy with the footwork, taken away. Hardy slicing in. It goes out. Off of Marian, and Maloney will throw it in. Hardy circling, trying to get Maloney to throw it to him. And now he does. Hardy chesting it down. Back to Maloney. 3 defenders around him. He'll pop it through all 3. And Sammy Bullock comes out of there for Marian. Far side of the field play. Andrew Johnson sprinting after it. A back heel kick at the last possible moment by MU. Goes out of play far side of the field. Johnson walking it forward. Got an extra 5 yards of where he wanted to throw it in at. Deflected around. Johnson tried to get to it. Now he gets it back. And now Johnson taken down on the tackle. Here comes Marian the other way. Sprinting in. Sulaco's right foot on it. Still with the ball at his feet is one of the MU forwards. Looked to be Barrera. And then Sulaco trying to get physical in the far side corner. You could hear Taylor head coach Gary Ross yelling no foul. Sulaco right on Barrera's back, excuse me. Barrera still with it as this was Paul McBride was right there with him step for step, and then Jensen holds it in. Centering ball for Marian. Gallup leans in and heads it out of there. Len try to work it forward to midfield. MU holds it in, then they turn it right over to the speedy McBride. His long pass held in by Maccabee of Marian. Near side to Stratton. And the Knights will play this one forward. A quick touch into space. Tommy Bullock sprints after it and gets to it. But his pass will go directly out of bounds on the end line. Whelan and Gilliam back in for Taylor. Patrick Palmer back in for Marian. First time we've seen him here in the second half. Palmer replaces Jensen.
21, Patrick Palmer.
Hardy and Paul McBride exit for the Trojans. And Alberghetti comes in as well. He replaces Clay Vanderkolk.
5, Juan Alberghetti.
13-10 and counting here in half 2. No score between Taylor and Marian. Shots have been just about even this evening. Marian holding it in near midfield. Robertson has it. Here comes James McBride for pressure from behind. Alberghetti knocks the pass down back to the near side, and Stratton will play it forward. But as he does, that one sails out of bounds. Maloney will throw it in on the near sideline at the end of the Marian bench. James McBride trying to get through a tackle of Stratton. Could not. Robertson takes it away. Then he turns it over right to Maloney. Here comes Rader near sideline. He'll dump it in deep. He'll let Whelan go chase after it. Maccabee trying to cut him off and does. Whelan fighting for it as it rolls to the end line. It'll be last touched by Taylor and Sidney Miranda, the keeper. We'll have the goal kick here for the Knights as we approach 12 minutes remaining in regulation. And no score between Taylor and Marian tonight. McBride bumped by Stratton, who gets it back in the middle of the field. Taylor swarming here, trying to hold it in their attacking half. And a bad pass is taken away by Taylor's Juan Alberghetti. His arm being hooked. He's able to play it back to Gallup. To the right. And Sulaco, then all the way to the far sideline, and Andrew Johnson. He will rocket one forward. Maccabee back there. He's got a couple steps on Whelan. Whelan trying to be pesky with it. Both players fall down. It goes across the end line. It was last touched by Josiah Whelan of TU. And again, Sidney Miranda will have the goal kick after Taylor tries to dial up a long pass to Josiah Whelan. .10:45 and counting here in half 2. Gilliam tracking it. It hits the turf. Lynn will deflect it to the far side. Last touched out of bounds by Marian. And now Taylor will throw it in from the right sideline as they attack the goal to our left. Short throw into Lynn. Nice little ball through to James McBride, but Taylor cannot hold it in as here's a turnover. Back up midfield, and now Marian off to the races. Lucas Brown to Bliley. Tommy Bullock near sideline. Back to midfield, and Stratton who holds. Trying to curl one in. Chested down to the top of the box. Right-footed shot, and there's Williams for another save. That one off the right foot of Jack Robertson. Third save of the night for Williams. Fourth shot overall for Marian. And there's an absolute bomb all the way to the other end of the field. Wheeland has it go off of his chest and across the end line as he was trying to measure that one and track it up high. Adam Siegelin in for TU. Igor Ferreira, Ahmed Sidibe, and Jeffrey Rhodes all return for the Knights. And Elijah Zorniger on for the first time tonight as well for MU. So the starting forwards for Marian in Rhodes and Sidibe, along with Ferreira. Actually, Ferreira, one of the midfielders, excuse me. And Elijah Zorniger, the 6'1 junior defender, has now moved up to one of the forward spots for the Knights. Less than 9 minutes remaining here in regulation. No score between Taylor and Marian. The Trojans trying to get a win tonight, getting those big 3 points to move in to within striking distance of the last qualifying spot for the league tournament. Marian, meanwhile, they're trying to solidify one of the top 4 spots in the league tournament. They came in tied with Bethel for 4th. And, of course, the top 4 spots in the league tourney all host a first-round match. A handball, it looks like, here against Marian. So a free kick from the right side of the field initially for Andrew Johnson. Instead, he'll let the big fella, Charbel Salako, take it. And Salako will right-footed forward. Trying to curl it to the near side. An initial touch, Whelan gets it and steals it back for Taylor. Maloney, little dump to the near sideline. Up to Siegelin. Back to Maloney, then crossfield. Darting in as Gilliam. Passes off target from him and sent up near midfield. Salako using that 6'5 for him to head it back over. Hustling after it is Didolo for MU. Didolo to Sidibe. Gilliam right in his back pocket. Crossfield pass to Jeffrey Rhodes, who's onside. Rhodes, a right-footed shot. That one will bend away from the near side post. The Trojans gave Rhodes just a little bit too much space, and he almost made them pay. He's Marian's leading goal scorer with 4 on the year. Their leading point man as well with 10.
Number 14, Christopher Jensen.
So Christopher Jensen in for MU. Stratton still out there, and it looks like Gammon is back on for the Knights. Seven minutes remaining here in the second half. This one deflected to the defensive end. And Gallup will get it to Williams, who just kicks it away from a jumping. It looked to be Jeffrey Rhodes. No, excuse me, make that Elijah Zorniger. Stratton near sideline will curl this one towards the top of the box. Salako drives it out of there for Taylor. Maccabee's head will hold it in for MU. Ferreira gets it back as Rader bounces between 2 different MU players. Gammon up to Rhodes. Poked away by Alberghetti of Taylor. Maloney measuring, his pass is blocked, and then Gallup will curl it up with a left foot. Little flick of a header from Rader to Whelan, then back to Rader. Ball was behind him, slowed Jeremiah down. His pass behind Peter Lynn, who was cutting up near midfield, and it was taken away by Marian. And Bliley got his foot on that one again. Racing left side, a sliding tackle beautifully done by Cole Gilliam. And then Taylor will drive it in deep. Maccabee trying to track it. Wheeling too far to make life difficult for Maccabee, who rotates away from Josiah. And now here comes Marian the other way with a pass across midfield. Less than 6 to go in the second half, no score. Crossfield pass, Stratton was the intended man. Then it's cleared away by Maloney of Taylor to the end of the Marian bench down below us to our right. Rhodes to Ferreira in the middle. Curling it around to Sidibe. Now is a man cutting in behind, and Jensen, who's frustrated with the missed pass. And now Taylor will try to counter. And then this pass sent into the Taylor students. And now they go nuts as they have a souvenir, at least for the time being. With 5:10 to go in the second half. Those guys have been great since they started showing up a couple of weeks ago. They've just been absolutely fantastic. And now they get a reward for their hard work. Stratton's pass not strong enough. Siegelin with a little slide tackle. We'll work it up to Whelan, who dumps it back to Lynn. Lynn trying to let Whelan go run after it. It goes over the head of Sammy Bullock. Whelan will get to it near sideline to the end line. Whelan back to his right, trying to find space. We'll give it off to Lynn. Too hard of a carom off of his foot, and Rhodes will take it away. Pass slipping through to Bliley. Rader pokes it away from him, trying to keep pressing forward to the goal to our left. It's right back to Gilliam. Up top, Rader behind the heel play. Try to work it over to Siegelin. Still trying to find somebody. Here's Whelan. Long range laser beam shot wide left.
Now in for Taylor, number 13.
4:15 to go, second half. Vanderkolk in, replacing Lynn. Grayson Harris to the midfield stripe as well.
And for Taylor, number 9, Grayson Harris.
Time is called. For Cole Gilliam. Cole Gilliam favoring that right leg, so Grayson Harris comes in to replace him. As athletic training staff takes a look at Gilliam. And Tommy Bullock back in for MU as well. With 3:58 to go here in the second half. No score between Taylor and Marian. Rader heads it back in to the attacking half. Christopher Jensen misses it. Vanderkolk scoots it up, but he could not get it to Whelan cleanly as Jensen took it away. Then he spun into Rader and kept the ball going in Marian's favor. Jensen in midfield, sprinting with all of his might. A low pass to Sadiba, who has to come get it from the left sideline. Up top, overrunning that one was Elijah Zorniger. But this ball still in the box, and then Salako drives this one out to the far sideline, bouncing up into the students, but then it deflects away as they could not handle the bouncing ball. 3:20 remaining in regulation. We are scoreless. Both teams in desperate need of points, but the Trojans really need that 3 points that comes with a win. So they come in last place in the league standings, but just 3 points out of the 8th and final Crossroads League tournament playoff spot. Rader going toe for toe with Maccabee. It goes off of Jeremiah, and Marian will throw it in. .238 to go in the second half. Zorniger was the intended man. Gallup will drive this one to the night sky up the far sideline. Rader dancing with Maccabee, trying to get that inside position, and somehow Rader holds it in. He'll still dance with it up the far sideline. Centering ball. A bicycle kick attempt for the Trojans and Siegelin, and now Whelan holds to the top. A little punch through that rolls wide to the right side post. Siegelin went bicycle kick try near the top of the box. And that sends the Taylor students across from us into full throat cheers for 24 in white. 2 minutes remaining in the second half. Scoreless between Taylor and Marian. And then run over from behind is Grayson Harris by Sidibe on the goal kick. 7th foul against Marian. And a minute 42 and counting here in the second half. We'll see what Taylor can cook up. Trying to get, well, potentially would be a game-winning tally here with less than almost, well, will be less than 90 seconds when this ball gets played. Rader will take the free kick, left hand into the air, and the right foot into the ball. A low bouncer to the near side. Siegelin could not hold it in. Now here comes Marian on a gallop all the way from one end to the other. Ferreira has to hit the brakes hard. Back near midfield, slicing through men is Rhodes. Hits Ferreira, has it taken away. Now here comes Siegelin up the near side for TU. He's got Whelan in front. Whelan legging it out. He'll be bumped from behind, trying to hustle to the near sideline. It goes out, and there'll be a last touch by Josiah
1
Whelan.
minute remaining.
That's a little pressure from behind, forced Whelan to kick it out of bounds. And with a minute remaining here, Marian will throw it in from deep in the defensive half with zeros on the board for both teams. Tommy Bullock will heave it in. Knocked down. Vanderkolk to the middle. There's Grayson Harris. He's got a little bit of a step right side, punching it in. Vanderkolk gets it. His shot was blocked. Players fall down in the box. 34 seconds remaining. Ball to the far sideline. Johnson applying pressure on Sidibe. And now Sidibe accelerating near midfield. His long pass will get passed through. Williams comes out. He'll punch it away. Rhodes tried to get the first goal of the night, and Williams said, "Not right now." Fourth save of the night for Williams, and it's been his best one so far. Marian trying to hustle instead of a corner kick with 6 seconds remaining.
6,
Right foot in swinger. Headed around to the weak side post, and that one sails out of here. And a sliding save from Luke Williams will send us to at least one overtime, as getting behind the Trojan D was Jeffrey Rhodes. Williams came sliding out, and his fourth save of the night is his best one. And we head to overtime here from Upland, Indiana. So our stats as we head to overtime. Number 1, Marian 7 shots, 4 on goal, all stopped by Taylor's Luke Williams. The Trojans 10 shots, 1 on goal. And we get ready to start overtime here tonight. 10-minute stanzas. And Taylor will throw Luke Holwarda as one of the forwards up top. Excuse me, instead of James McBride to start here in overtime number 1. Zorniger out here to start overtime number 1 as well at one of those forward spots for Marian. Taylor attacks the goal to our left. It is golden goal here. And our final, if someone does score, will be 1-0. Maloney will throw it in from the left side. Same keepers that we had to end our contest earlier. Wheeling a back heel kick to the end line. Here comes Rader, a centering ball. Could not slip on through as Lynn was waiting for it at the top of the box. Marian clears it out of there after a cheeky little play there from the Trojans, who are clad in white tonight. Maloney will throw it in, far sideline. Just underway here in overtime. Rader turns, dancing to the top. Heel kick, there's McBride. Up top, Holwarda. It took a left-footed bounce away from him. And a violation called against the Trojans. And it'll be a goal kick here for Miranda, the Marian keeper. A minute in here to overtime. As Maccabee, who started the second half, also gets the start here in overtime, number 1. He did not start the contest, but has played pretty well here in the second half here against the Trojan forwards. Lynn a little bit too aggressive. He's whistled for the foul. 5th foul against Taylor tonight. Marian with 8. No cards have been issued from either side. Just had a fairly clean game overall. 90 seconds in. And now some of the Taylor students have started to line the sidelines across from us. They are wearing white tonight to match the home team's home kits. So a free kick, 38 yards away from the goal. Gammon stands over it along with another player. We cannot read his number. They'll overrun it. Gammon will try to trick the Trojans to play to the right side end line. Centering pass. Maloney's left foot onto it, but that one will go across the end line as Tommy Bullock wanted to center. And here comes the third corner of the night for Marian. Christopher Jensen will set up and take this corner from the far side of the field. 2.5 minutes into overtime. Right hand into the air for Jensen. Left foot into the ball, an in-swinger. Williams will punch it out of there. Holwarda tried to clear it, could not. Held in by Gammon. And then Lynn will deflect it out of there after Sidibe tried to hold it in. Whelan skies it. Lynn will track it. And then Bullock will dump it down. That's Tommy Bullock. And then they reset to the far side with Christopher Jensen. Here comes Marian from the right side. They dump it around the Trojan D. This one on the end line, stopped by Williams. On the centering pass by Elijah Zorniger. Williams directs traffic, 3 minutes into overtime. And he right foots a punt forward. Right foot onto it by Bliley. This one goes directly out of bounds. And Taylor will throw it in from the far sideline. Maloney into Rader. Back to Maloney. And now to Rader again. Little punch through to Holwarda. Rader trying to press it forward. They run through a couple tackles to the left side of the box. Holwarda sprinting with his heart after it to the end line. And this one will go out, last touched by Holwarda of TU. So a Marian goal kick upcoming. Marian head coach Ernie Yarborough giving a time down to one of the four players stretching their legs out along the near sideline at the end of the Marian bench about when he wants them to come in. Alberghetti will sweep that one back to the other side of the field. Taylor attacking the goal to our right as we sit here almost halfway home in overtime. Raider fakes a back heel kick, tried to press it up, deflected out by Marian. And Maloney will throw it in, but not before. They allow James McBride to enter the contest.
For Taylor, number 6, James McBride.
So James comes in, replacing Holwerda. And then Didolo, Robertson, and a couple other guys will come in. Barrera, one of them. 4 subs will come in here for Marian. McBride trying to spin away from trouble. Wheeland, little dump into space. Up top, Raider back to Wheeland inside the box. He shoots it, stopped by Miranda. Wheeland trying to punch it on again. Miranda made another save. 2 beautiful saves by Miranda. And Taylor still with zeros on the board. But they have been the aggressive team here in this first overtime. 4:50 remaining in overtime, potentially 1 of 2. Then Marian double teams McBride. It goes out. Wheeland slipped on through. The initial save by Miranda couldn't grasp the ball, and then the second one by Wheeland as Miranda looked to be falling down. He made the stop there again as well. Lynn to Sulaco. Back to Rhodes, who looked to have an opportunity to win it for Marian with less than a minute to go in regulation, but Williams stepped in front and slid and made his 4th stop of the night. Gallup leaps on top of Zorniger and gets whistled for the foul. 6-1 against Taylor, and a quick restart here for the Knights with Ferreira. To Gammon on the right side of the field, 4:05 to go in OT. Sulaco heads it to the near side, and here's Paul McBride. Off the knee, and then he'll volley it forward. Maccabee heads it down, back up to Sidibe. A back heel kick, but right to the feet of Raider. And then Sidibe whistled for the foul as he was helping Raider down to the turf. And now Sidibe will hear the whistle again as our head official Stan Smith puts both index fingers to his eyes to signal to Sidibe that Smith has his eyes on him. Sidibe was trying to force the ball away from Raider before he was able to set up the free kick, which is sent near side before McBride could get to it. Then McBride slips hard on the concrete down below us. McBride pops back to his feet as the athletic training staff goes sprinting down.
Number 10.
Sidibe out, Barrera in here in overtime. Clock stops as Gammon exits here in OT number 1. Paul McBride came sprinting to the near side, and just as he tried to plant his foot, he landed on the concrete that butts up right next to the field turf surface and slipped. And is holding his right leg just a little bit here. So Grayson Harris will come in to replace McBride. And Vanderkolk will come in as well. He replaces Peter Lynn at the midfield spot.
Taylor, number 13 and number 9.
.303 remaining here in the first overtime. Taylor has dominated possession here. Raider trying to find James McBride, who slipped. He got back to his feet and kept trying to work it forward. Taylor looks for a handball on Tommy Bullock, and they get one on the left side of the field as that ball hit off the forearm of 30 in navy blue. And with 2:45 and counting here in this potentially first overtime session, Raider, who has set up some good tries tonight for Taylor, will set this one up here on the left side of the field. And the Taylor students across from us will start to migrate down closer to where Raider stands over this ball. He's 33 yards away from the goal. There's a whole slew of folks standing at the top of the box. 2 men separate Raider from the goal. Right foot into it, a little pop into the middle of the box over everyone's heads. Headed out of there by Maccabee of Marian. Alberghetti tries to send it back into the fray. Sulaco there. He's onside. Headed up. McBride tried to get his left foot onto it off the ricochet in midair. Could not. And now here comes Marian sprinting up the right side of the field. Maloney comes in, pokes the ball away from that Marian player sprinting his heart out up the right sideline. Now they find Rhodes in the middle. To the near side, and Christopher Jensen angling to his right. A pass off to Barrera, stolen away by Vanderkolk. Raider, a no-look dish near side to Grayson Harris. Wheeling gives it back to Harris. Up to Rader, trying to slip on through. Could not get the inside position on Robertson. And then Robertson has to dance to the near sideline. Make that Sammy Bullock, I apologize. And then his teammates hold on to him before he potentially would have slipped on the concrete as well, just like McBride did earlier. A long pass back to the feet of Vanderkolk. They try to pop it into Wheelan. Could not. 1:10 to go here in overtime, number 1. Vanderkolk near side will take it away from Ferreira. Then he trolls the man down. Actually going to be Barrera, called for the foul. As Barrera not happy with the whistle, the 9th foul against Marian. As we dip below a minute to go here in overtime, our next goal will end it. Salako from the near sideline. Curls this one 5 yards outside the box, headed back into the middle. Rhodes had to go behind his feet and then plays it over to the right sideline, and Tommy Bullock. A long pass in. And Marian will chase after. Rolls out with 19 seconds remaining in here in our first overtime. Now the countdown clock is on.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
It's a wrong right-footed shot. Williams will watch this one sail over the crossbar. And we head to a second overtime. No score. 10 more minutes remaining potentially here from Turner Stadium in Upland, Indiana. After 100 minutes of play, it's Marian nothing and Taylor nothing here on the Trojan Sports Network. So here we go. 10 more minutes to decide our winner. Even though we played 100 minutes, the fellows across from us, the Taylor students, they are still amped up and ready to go. We want to say congratulations to the Taylor volleyball team. They are 5-set winners tonight over Spring Arbor. A much-needed win for Aaron Luthi and the volleyball squad. Women's soccer lost tonight at Marian. Taylor trying to make the Trojans 2-1 here on this Wednesday night. Holwerda to Lynn with some space. A big dribble, though. He'll try to keep poking it forward. Here's Maccabee, who's been great here since starting in the second half. After not playing at all in the opening 45 minutes, Maccabee has played really well there on the last line of defense for the Marian Knights. Abel Alvarez has come in. Raider wanted to work it down the near sideline. Maloney will hold it in and work it up to him on a pass. Little back heel kick. Raider, Maloney, a centering ball. Huerta's header goes screaming over the crossbar, and he might have beat Miranda, who had a late reaction to the freshman's header. Thirteenth shot of the night for TU, and again, they keep knocking on the door here of getting what would be an equalizing tally. And Miranda waves everybody back here as he gets ready for the right-footed goal kick. This one headed straight into the air. Barrera trying to force it forward for Marian. They attack the goal to our right here in the second overtime. Punched up by Tommy Bullock, who's played well tonight for MU. Robertson, pass in the middle, was partially deflected. Johnson tracks it for Taylor with Barrera right there with him, step for step. Johnson boxing him out as it goes across the end line, far sideline. Made that far sideline, excuse me. And TU trying to keep him moving forward, but Marian holds it in the middle. Robertson heading forward. Here comes Bullock. Big dribble down, trying to punch it away from somebody. Then Huerta comes back and he'll slip it through, and Gallup will just drive it away from trouble up the near side of the field. This ball will bounce out of play, and Sammy Bullock will get there and quickly throw it in to Miranda, who plays well out in front of the 18-yard box. Again, 10 to 15 yards outside of the top of the box. Zorniger to the middle. Bullock again trying to move it in there. Taylor tried to block it away. Long range left-footed shot blocked by Salako. This one taken by Didello. Wheeland with that spinning ball. Runs through the tackle, and his jersey is pulled down to the turf, and screaming in defense, and a yellow card comes out against the guilty party of Nathan Bliley. He was not happy with it. Turned around. Taylor had already restarted things. He'll have to bring the ball back 4 yards outside midfield, but Bliley really not happy with that call. And there's the first yellow card here of the night. Almost 3 minutes in. Here to overtime number 2, 0-0 up on the board. Taylor dominated things for the most part there in our first extra session. We'll see if they can cook up here on the free kick from Salako, 2 yards outside midfield. Raider comes in, headed in, and Gallup was there but couldn't get a play on the goal. And Miranda, the keeper for Marian, easily scoops it up. A sidewinder punt. Salako heads on, goes off the back of his head towards the defensive area for Taylor. Into the box where Williams will knock it down, and he'll scoop it up with those 2 hands. This one volleyed in. Miranda has it, as Eganoff gets the start here in the second overtime for Taylor up top as well. To the near side, and Bliley. Huerta comes in. Gallup step through. Robertson tries to keep it moving forward. Miscommunication between he and Alvarez, who gets it back. This one a pass to the far side. Johnson heads it straight up. Soaring in is Alberghetti. He collided with Alvarez, and that allows Gallup to play it all the way to the near side to Huerta, who tracks it. Huerta dumping forward. Eganoff sprinting in. He'll try to beat Maccabee to it. Maccabee kicks it out, and this one's going to roll across the end line and be a Taylor corner from the near side of the field. Before that, all the subs will come in. Grayson Harris for Taylor. Rhodes for Marian. Ferreira for Marian. Gammon for Marian. And Logan Hatter also of Marian. They replace Alvarez, Robertson, Didello, and Barrera, who slowly jogs off the field. Smart move there by Barrera to beat up as much clock as possible. Raider, little right-footed pass up to Maloney. Nobody marking him. Maloney, backside play. Wheeland is right there, and the offside flag goes into the air on either Wheeland or Salako. They'll probably go against Wheeland, as he was onside on the initial play from Raider, but then when Maloney wanted to play it in, after the pass from Raider from the corner, that's when Josiah was offside. Almost halfway home in our second and final overtime session. And a foul called here against Marian near midfield. So we approach 5 minutes remaining here in the second overtime session. Looks like the foul comes here against Elijah Zorniger as he has an extended conversation with our head official, Stan Smith. Solaka will take the free kick a yard inside midfield. Taylor attacking the goal to our left. He right foots this one into the box. Holwarda is there, bouncing around Holwarda, trying to get the ball free. Then it's slipped away and cleared out to the near sideline by the Marian D. Harris tracking it. Maloney to throw it in, but not before Vanderkolk comes in for TU to replace Peter Lynn, who just jogs off to the near sideline. 4:15 and counting, and so Andrew Johnson will come in and throw it in from the near sideline as they dry off the wet soccer ball. 0-0 here in overtime number 2 as we approach 4 minutes remaining in the second extra session. Johnson heaving it in, trying to find Rader to the end line, and this one will bounce out of play off the goal support. Ahmed Sidibe comes back in for the Knights. He replaces whom?
Number 23.
He'll replace Elijah Zorniger. 3:41 to go here. Maloney heading it forward, bouncing around. And then Marian will bash it to the far side of the field with Hatter hustling after it. He can't get to it. Tommy Bullock throws his hands up in frustration down on the near side of the field. And a big heave as Rader knocks it down for Taylor on the far sideline. It goes out off of MU, and Jeremiah will throw it in. 3:14 and counting here in the second overtime. Vanderkolk lays it back to Alberghetti, who looks over his shoulder to see where pressure comes from. Salako, right footing it. Holwarda heading it high in the air to the middle. Whelan skying for it. And no foul calls. Foul is called as Whelan had his legs taken out from underneath him, but it looked like he might have been trying to land on the support of the Marian player underneath. Hatter dancing with it far sideline, and then he dribbled it out all the way before he made progress across midfield. Adam Siegelin comes in for the Trojans.
Now in for Taylor, number 24.
He replaces Grayson Harris. Johnson will throw it in. Less than 2.5 minutes remaining in overtime number 2. Whelan got his head on. Siegelin hustling after it. Then Rader knocks a pass down and kills it right on the right side of the field. Ball popping free. Vanderkolk to Alberghetti. Spacing it near side as Holwarda will track it down to the end line. Holwarda centering pass. It goes off the head of the defender in front of him. That was Tommy Bullock. And Maloney will throw it in with 2:03 to go in the second overtime. Marian and Taylor both scoreless. And then Maloney will drop it, and he'll allow Andrew Johnson to come in and throw with 1:52 remaining here in our second overtime. Johnson jogs forward, heaving it in, headed up towards the goal mouth. Holwarda there, back heel kicked out of there by Marian. A foul. And it'll go against TU in the box. Holwarda looking for an explanation. And it's going to be a free kick for Taylor here inside the box. With 1:13 remaining in the second overtime, this is going to be practically a penalty kick with defenders in front for Taylor. I'm not sure who the penalty or the foul was on against Marian, but it was in that scrum. And this ball is going to be placed essentially almost parallel with where the dot is. It is parallel to where the dot where the penalty kick is. This on the near side of the field. Rader and Maloney both stand over it. The clock in the second overtime stopped with 1:13. Almost everybody forming a wall in front of Rader. They leave a little bit of space. The keeper, Miranda, crouching. Rader volleys it in, and it's into the back of the net. There's Jeremiah Rader, the winner for the Trojans. He slides to the near side corner, and here come his teammates and the students. A big win for the Trojans as Jeremiah Rader puts it into the far side post, and the Trojans win 1-0 here in the second overtime goal of the year for the senior tri-captain Jeremiah Rader. As Miranda was creeping at the edge of that wall, he went back inside, and then Rader put it into the upper 90. And Taylor wins 1-0 tonight over the Marian Knights. They get a much-needed 3 points here over MU. And the Knights fall to 2-3 in the league. The Trojans improve to 1-3-1 as Jeremiah Rader comes through with the game winner tonight to the far side post. I think we'll have fun things to talk about on our post-match recap with Mr. Rader and with the head coach Gary Ross. Taylor winners tonight by a final of 1-0 here over Marian on Jeremiah Rader's game-winning tally on a free kick from just inside the box. Special thanks to Emily, our camera operator tonight, and we thank you folks for tuning in tonight as well. Taylor wins tonight by a final of 1-0 in double overtime here over Marian here on the Trojan Sports Network.